This is one of the scariest urban legends ever. And if you're watching this at 3 a.m., you have been warned. I think we can all agree that sometimes when you're re-scrolling through social media or even the internet in general, you come across some things that you just wish you never did. Whether it's a cursed image, a video, or just something else entirely, there are certain things online that are simply best left unseen. But I don't think any of us were truly prepared for what was about to happen next. Many believe that there is no way something like this could have actually happened. But others say that if you do watch the video, you'll see exactly what they mean. To this day, no one has ever seen the original video, and that's because it was quickly taken down due to its terrifying content. But luckily for us, there were plenty of people who captured screenshots of what they saw and uploaded them all over the internet. These images were said to be burned into their retinas, and they could never get the haunting image out of their heads. Others say they started to experience strange things after seeing the video. How was it uploaded onto YouTube? And who did it? Well, unfortunately, we may never know the answer to this. But there are a few theories out there. Most people assume that the video was simply posted by a person who was trying to freak people out. But there is one final detail that I want to point out before we wrap this video up. You see, the images that appeared in the video weren't just random. Many people who saw it claimed that the photos were carefully selected to target their greatest fears. For example, one person might be afraid of clowns, so they would show up on screen. Or another person might be afraid of heights, so images of them falling would appear. And since our brains love to make connections, it's very easy to see how this could have freaked people out. They felt like the video was targeted specifically towards them. When combined with the demonic voice and the countdown, it created the perfect storm for disaster. But if that was the case, why did so many people report feeling cursed after watching it? Well, I guess it all depends on whether or not you believe in curses. I personally think it's just a scary story that got out of hand, but that's just my opinion. What do you think happened to those who watched this cursed YouTube video? Do you think it's just a hoax, or do you think something supernatural is at play here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Some people even went as far as to say that they experienced paranormal activity after watching the video, such as scratches. There's no harm in taking a peek. But if you start seeing strange things happen afterwards, don't come crying to me. And bites on their body, flickering lights in their house, and objects moving on their own. If the video was just some weird prank, why did it cause so much chaos? And to make matters worse, there seemed to be a strange countdown on the screen. All of it pointed to a terrifying reality. First of all, it's entirely possible that the video was cursed, and there's a supernatural reason behind everything that happened. Even if the video didn't have any curse on it whatsoever, the stories about it caused so much panic that when people got together and told each other about it, they started to convince one another that it must be real. After all, if one person tells another person that something strange happened to them, and then that person tells another person, and then that person tells another person, eventually it becomes a tale of epic proportions, and no one knows where the truth lies. But if you're still not convinced, there is another theory out there that claims that the video itself was actually a self-fulfilling prophecy. In other words, people expected strange things to happen after watching the video, so they convinced themselves that it did. Of course, this doesn't explain why so many people reported experiencing similar events, but maybe it's because they were all connected in some way. Maybe they were all vulnerable to suggestion. Or perhaps they had all subconsciously been programmed to believe that something strange would happen. So, is this really true? Well, let us take a look at the story of this cursed YouTube video that will make you never sleep again. Although there were certainly some skeptical people out there, a lot of people decided to stay up late and find out for themselves. When 3 a.m. rolled around, they played the video and immediately wished they hadn't. Some say that if you watch the video, your worst fears will become a reality. So of course, we want to know, what exactly does this mean? Is it possible that this video was cursed? Or is there another explanation? Let us take a look at the details of the video, and hopefully we can finally put this to rest. The year was 2004, and YouTube was still relatively new. What did people actually see when they watched this cursed YouTube video? Not only was there a countdown timer going down from 666 in the corner of the screen, but there was also a distorted voice that could be heard throughout the entire thing. Unfortunately, no one could understand what the voice was saying, but some believed that it was speaking in a demonic language. We were not sure if the images and the voice changed depending on which version of the video you watched, but I'm willing to bet that they probably did. Well, the answer might just depend on who you ask, because there were apparently several different versions of the video. However, there were a few common things that all of them had in mind. According to those who saw it, the video was filled with a bunch of disturbing images flashing across the screen. For example, there was a man covered in blood, a bloodied meat cleaver, someone getting stabbed in the eye, and a whole lot more. And each image seemed to appear for only a split second. So if you blinked, you might miss it. It had only been created for years prior, and back then, it was definitely not as popular as it is today, although there were plenty of odd and bizarre videos uploaded onto the platform. One video in particular stood out amongst the rest, and it was titled, "Do Unwatch This at 3 a.m." The thumbnail was just as creepy as the title, with a distorted and bloodied face staring back at whoever clicked on the video. But naturally, viewers were super curious, wanted to know what would happen if they watched the video at 3 a.m. So naturally, many people decided to stay up late to find out. And as soon as they did, they realized they had made a terrible mistake, because that was the last time they ever saw the sunlight. Of course, this is just an urban legend.
Yes.
That's why it's still being talked about all these years later. It all started on December 28, 2004, when a mysterious user uploaded a video to YouTube that didn't look like anything else on the website. Back then, most of the videos were just 15-second clips of people showing off their brand new camcorders or shaky footage of random things around the house. In fact, some of the earliest videos on YouTube were test videos just to see how the camera would pick up certain things. So you can imagine just how different the site looked. And compared to today, everyone was pretty much just messing around and uploading whatever they wanted. But this particular video was unlike any other video before it. In fact, after people tried to watch it, they claimed that the video wasn't even supposed to be uploaded in the first place. At midnight, when the clock struck 12 a.m., something strange was supposed to happen to anyone who watched the video. First things first, let's talk about the video itself, although the images alone were enough to make anyone sick to their stomach. There were also a few other details that made this video extra creepy. But now you might be asking yourself, where did this video even come from? Well, there are a few different answers to that question. After all, long before the internet was a thing, stories like these were passed down through word of mouth. Ultimately, though, we may never know what really happened. So what should you do if you come across this video one day? And as for watching this at 3 a.m., well, I wouldn't recommend it. Now, since we've just discussed the dangers of watching scary videos at night, I think it's only appropriate that we talk about something equally as creepy: ghosts.